Hello everyone, my name is Max Jaime and today I'm gonna show you the production process of my track, Bubblegum. Let's get into it. So here, as you can see in my Ableton session, I divided the work in different folders. I usually like to create folders for the synthesizers, for percussion, the drums, and kick and the bass. I usually like to process the kick and the bass separately. In a different video I can show you why I do this, but yeah, for now I'm just gonna show you the production process. When I start producing an electronic track, I usually produce first the drums. I remember when I was doing my first tracks, I used the drum rack right here, drum rack instrument from Ableton, but then I acquired a drum machine, the TR6S to be specific. The TR6S is like the little brother from the TR8S, which is like a really cool drum machine with lots of samples. So when I usually start producing the drums, obviously I start with layers. For example, I have a layer from the hi-hat here. I have another layer for the other hi-hat here. One is pointed to the right and the other to the left. And then I have a very simple pattern here with another close hi-hat. Awesome. I also use a snare and a clap, and every 8 bars, as you can see here in the waveform, I created like a drum fill. As you can see, every 8 bars there is like a little drum fill, a snare fill to be specific. Let's hear it out with the claps and the snare drum. And then I added 2 layers for the open hi-hats, like this, and this. Throughout the arrangement, obviously I add layers every 16 or every 8 bars. For example, here, 8 bars, then close hi-hat, 16 bars, open hi-hat 2, then 16 bars, open hi-hat 1, then close hi-hat. And for the kick, I usually love to use pretty fat and punchy kicks for this type of tracks. I love the kick that I used. Let's hear it out. And I created like some variations here, for example. As you can see, I have little breaks in the kick drum. I think this gives a little breath and space in the arrangement of the track. It's really important to have breaks, not only like the long break that we usually have in electronic music, but also little breaks are really, really, really important. This makes the track more interesting, and as I said, it gives breath to the arrangement. Let's hear out the whole drum set with the kick. Let's hear it out here with the open hi-hats. Then I also love to use effects. In this case, the effects for the drum set are like a cymbal crash reverse. Then I used a sample from Ableton called the UFO. Then I used a crash with a delay. As you can see in the insert, there is no delay. I usually use delays as return tracks, so the crash signal is sending signal to the 1/4 delay. And it sounds like this. It's really common to use this in house music. Pretty awesome. Let's hear it out with everything. The whole drums with the kick. Hear it out here. Awesome. So also an extra for the kick, I actually love to use some kick reverse samples in order to give like a little impulse, and this helps a lot to the groove of the track. Let's hear it out without the kick reverse. And let's hear it out with the kick reverse. It gives that impulse, like pretty common in minimal house music. Moving on to the bass, I also used a sample from my drum machine. In this case, I only used one note. I'm pretty used to create like very difficult or very complex bass lines in my tracks, but in this case, I only used one note and a simple rhythm pattern. Let's hear it out with the kick drum. Awesome. Let's hear it out with all the drum set. Kick drum and drums. Kick, bass, and drums. Let's hear it out, how it sounds. Moving on to the synthesizers part. First of all, I created this synthesizer, which is actually a preset from Ableton, which I found like really awesome. Obviously, I moved some of the presets. For example, here I mapped the envelope, the amplifier envelope, to the frequency, and then I have other envelope modifying also the frequency or the cutoff of the filter. So for longer notes, the filter is going to open a little more. It's going to get more brighter in the sound. For example, this note is going to get brighter. Let's hear it out. Only the synthesizer. This gives like a I really love the sound, and it helps. I think it helps to humanize the sound of the synthesizer, in my opinion. So for the harmony, I'm using the same harmony throughout the whole track. For example, here I'm using only major 7 chords. Here I'm using F major 7, E major 7, F major 7, and here a D major 7 chord with a 9, or D major 9 chord. So I actually wanted to target like a really dark and mysterious sound, like when you are like in a forest, a mysterious forest, like Zelda forests from the Twilight Princess. Maybe it's a really good reference. Also, I wanted to record an acoustic piano in this track. So, but I find a really, really good preset from Ableton called the Childhood Home Piano. Obviously, also I moved some of the knobs and actually changed the preset a little bit, and it sounds like this. It sounds, for me, it sounds really awesome. Super mysterious with lots of reverb, a little bit of a delay. It sounds really, really awesome. Let's hear out the piano with the drums and with everything. Awesome. So as you can see, I created a pad here. It's using the exact same harmony as before, but instead of doing like a rhythmic motif, I'm doing just a path. So I created the path in Serum instead of Ableton. And here I'm using like a really strange waveform, and throughout the track is changing the actual wavetable of this oscillator. I'm using a French low pass filter with a square wave, and it sounds like this. I really love the sound. I'm using also a phaser, some flanger effects. As you can see, I'm also doing an automation to the cutoff of the filter. And yeah, it sounds like really wobbly, really gluey, punchy. I don't know. I really love the sound of this pad. Also, I forgot the percussion. The percussion is pretty simple. I just use some sample. Like there is a timbal sound here with a lot of saturation. Here is like a reverse tom. And here is like a check sound. Check. With a delay. And then here I have like a layer for the claps and the snare drum. Let's hear it out with only the claps and the snare drum, this sample that I used here. Let's hear it out from here. From here. Let's hear it out from here. It's just a layer that sounds like a laser gun. I really love the sound. So, still moving on with the synthesizers part. Here we have the the part B or the section 2 of the track, and then here we are returning again with this rhythmic motif. Let's hear it out with the whole track. Here we return again to the main motif. Oh, also I have like a really cool swoosh sound. It's like a pink noise sound. And also, as you can see, the pitch is getting like higher throughout the effect. Let's hear it out with everything. So yeah, moving on to the break part. I think this is my favorite part. I'm also using a different pad here. It's really similar to this, but I think I'm using more tensions here. Yeah, and also the voicing is a little bigger. This sound, I really loved it. It has like a lot of brightness to it. Let's hear it out. Lots of saturation. And also, it starts with an automation, the volume here. Pretty great, huh? The piano here is doing a different pattern. I'm using fast arpeggios, mostly with lots of tensions, mostly 9s and sharp 11s. Let's hear it out. It sounds so mysterious. I really love the sound. Let's hear it out. Here. Awesome. For this part here, I also used an automation to delay, and it sounds like this. Usually to create this type of sounds, you usually change the time of the delay. For example, here you change the time. But in this case, this delay has a pitch knob, and then you can change the pitch of the sound here. Let's see how this knob is moving. Higher and then lower. Great. So here the only extra thing in the percussion is that I'm using this drum loop, which I really love. I started with a lot of reverb. As you can see here, I'm automating a lot of the reverb here. It starts with lots of reverb and then the reverb gets lower. I really love this sound. Really love it. And then here for the break, for the drop part, I'm using a scratch, like a DJ scratch sound. Let's hear it out. A swoosh again. And here I'm anticipating the new rhythmic motif of the sound. I'm actually using the same harmony, but a different voicing and a different synthesizer, which sounds like this. I'm also automating the cutoff of the filter here. Let's hear out the drop part here. I think from here it could sound really awesome. And then the process of adding layers starts again. I only start with 2 layers on the hi-hats, then 3, then 4, 4 and 5. And yeah, a little break here. Even though I'm changing like the rhythmic motif, as I said, the harmony is the same. So I'm using the pad that I used here, with this new rhythmic motif for the drop. Let's hear it out. Let's hear it out how it sounds. Sounds really cool. It gives a lot of width, a lot of depth to the sound. And then here I'm returning to the main motif of the sound, and then here I'm returning to the main piano of the sound. And yeah, that's how I produce this track, Bubblegum. If you want to hear the whole track, please click in the link below. There is a track here, and I hope you love it. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more videos like this, I can upload, like, maybe if I'm releasing an EP or an album or maybe a single, like I can do 1 or 2 production walkthroughs. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and till next time. Bye.